What is up, guys? Another review because I actually like making these. I will be doing other content, don't worry, but this is the Aliens Ultimate Edition by NECA. This is a really cool figure. It comes with a lot, as you can see in the box. It comes with the Xenomorph, the chest burster, the facehugger, and an egg for your facehugger. Here's a little description of the second movie. I'm not going to read it to you because you have eyes and a pause button. But inside the box we have this nice photo of the Xenomorph, and then to the right we have everything that comes with the figure that I just previously mentioned. So let's get into the figure. As a person who's collected Hasbro, Jazzware, and McFarlane like pretty much all my life, and this being pretty much my first NECA figure, I am thoroughly satisfied. It is a solid figure to hold, to look at, really nice paint job. So getting into the figure itself, its tail you can manipulate pretty much however you want, and it's really solid. You can bend it as much as you want without fear of breaking the tail off. The head did feel a little limited. I feel like he should have been able to look up more, but I'm not gonna like put NECA on the cross over it. The swivels are pretty solid for a Xenomorph. He is kind of limited by the wires on his mouth, but I don't think you're going to be doing 360 head spins on your Xenomorph anyways. The second you open the jaw, the second mouth will just pop out. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you. For me, I personally don't care. I can live with that mechanism. I'm going to say mechanics, mechanism. Arm articulation felt a little limited. Seeing that this is a Xenomorph, you know, a very agile, quick creature. When I do test out articulation, I bend them to, as much as I can without breaking them, of course. So everything you're seeing me do is me going to the furthest extent when it comes to bending the figure. But after the shoulder articulation, then everything else is pretty solid. Like his elbow articulation's great, his wrist articulation is great, and his finger articulation is great. I didn't even know there was going to be finger articulation, so that really like surprised me and made me happy that that was a detail added. Torso articulation is pretty solid-ish. Like, he's able to do ab crunches. I wasn't expecting him to suck his own dick, but like, you know, I feel like he should have been able to bend forward a little bit more. He can do side to side. I don't know why I wasn't able to show you that. But he can do side to side on the torso. Leg articulation is pretty solid. He's able to do a full split. His thighs can rotate for that opposability. His knees are pretty solid. He can't do a full butt kick, but it's, you know, you're not having your Xenomorph do butt kicks anyways, so, you know, it's not a huge deal. He's able to bend his toes so you can balance him and pose him on uneven surfaces if you were going to. And then his foot is on a ball joint, so you can rotate it on a 360 and bend that pretty much however you please. So that's pretty solid. I really enjoy this figure so far. So I'm not going to rate this figure anything out of 10 because this is the only figure in the review and I have no NECA to reference it to. But overall, I'm very satisfied with this figure. It is very well painted and very well sculpted. Some things with the articulation are a little iffy, but overall I am very satisfied with how this figure came out. So let's get into the other things that do come with this figure. So the egg is very well sculpted and painted. It has a lot of attention going on. The bottom's flat so you can place it anywhere, and even NECA took the time to sculpt and paint the inside, which is very nice. And this shit just looks like a big gaping asshole. Kind of reminds me of my fucking ex. So here's a look of the egg on the turntable. Very well sculpted, very well painted, like I did say before. You can see from bottom to top the tans, the blacks, and the greens on the egg. The color variation just great. The lips, the folds on top, the wrinkles and the folds, and that gooey, cummy shit that the egg does produce is there. Just really, really amazing attention to detail. And NECA's end on the egg really just out of the park. Just attention to detail. Good job, NECA. So the facehugger that comes with the set is very detailed, very well painted. Even the vagina part is like, you can see the wrinkles and shit. It's just It's fucking icky, but the tail you can manipulate pretty much however you want without fear of breaking it. The leg finger things you cannot, so be very careful with those. So I was playing around with it, and as you can see, I put it on a 6-inch Star Wars The Black Series Stormtrooper. Probably not the best figure to try and put him on because the helmet does get in the way. But overall, this is really solid. Like, it's very well made. One cool thing about this is you can, with the tail, is you can kind of prop him up in the egg, so it kind of looks like he is crawling out of the egg like they do sometimes in the movies. And then if you wrap his tail up, like coil it, you can just have him laying in the egg, so he's like hiding in there, which is a really cool little play feature, if you're so inclined. So looking at the facehugger one last time on the turntable, very satisfied with the sculpting and painting. I know I said this earlier when I was holding it in my hands, but I love the amount of detail NECA does put into their toys, even on the vagina mouth thing of the facehugger. A lot of attention to detail. I will definitely be buying more NECA stuff because of the amount of detail NECA does put into the figures. Very nice NECA. So let's get into the final part of this toy set. So finally we have the chest burster, this little bastard. There's surprisingly a lot of sculpting and paint that goes on this guy. Like, I'm impressed with NECA. Again, with the facehugger, not much to move besides the tail. The tail you can manipulate pretty good without fear of breaking it, which is another very nice thing done by NECA. So just one last look at the chest burster on the turntable before we move into just the outro and just final thoughts on the video. Like I said before, really well painted, really well sculpted. There's a lot of fucking sculpt work on this that just minute little things that were done. Just the amount of detail is amazing for just something this small. One thing I want to do before we do wrap up the video is do some size comparisons. So the Xenomorph does stand at 9 inches tall, and as you can see that the facehugger and the chest burster do go around where his thigh is. Then here's another NECA Xenomorph that I found that I have no recollection of ever obtaining. A Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch Stormtrooper. Jazz wears the Spartan Collection 7-inch Halo 2 Master Chief. A McFarlane Toys Doomslayer. And an Intergrade RX-78-2 model kit. So my final thoughts, very solid figure. I don't know how to rate it because I don't have any other NECA figures to compare it to besides that one Xenomorph I apparently have obtained. And the only difference between that one and this one is there's no peg holes on the feet of the other one, and the other one can also look up, which is something I did want from this Xenomorph. But otherwise, I'm very satisfied with how this figure came out. I do wish that the arms and head articulation wasn't as limited as it is, seeing that this is a very fast and agile creature. I'm pretty sure I've said this about 6-7 times now. The sculpting and painting on this figure and just everything that comes in this box is amazing. Awesome work on NECA's end for just getting these tiny little details and then proceeding to paint them in. That's something that isn't really easy. Like, I paint some stuff, like some figures, model kits and shit, and I'm still ass at it, and I'm doing things that are just nearly not as small as what NECA does. Granted, this is a toy company, it's a profession, so of course they're probably going to hire only the best for their figures. But anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this review. My eyes have been opened. I will be definitely buying more NECA figures, especially in the Alien franchise, because I love that franchise so fucking much. But like I said, hope you enjoyed this review. I'm not going to make you hit a bell. I'm not going to make you comment. All I do ask, though, is a subscribe and a like. It does help. I want to get this channel off its feet to bring content for you guys to enjoy. I will definitely be trying to do some other stuff when I have the time, like playing video games and shit. But that shit does take a lot longer to edit. But anyways, like I said, this will be another third time. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in another one.